Good morning. We are getting callers. Of course we are. This is a show that gets them the drop of a hat, it seems, and we're delighted about that. Mbappe to your club. It would seem, Danny, I think Manchester United, in your view, would be the only club that could be spoken about realistically in terms of acquiring Mbappe.
Well, from a financial point of view, yeah, maybe City, but they've got Ireland. Chelsea probably could do it financially, but I'm not sure Poch would want him.
Why is that?
Well, I think after the PSG, I mean, Poch needs to build a team now that's at it without the ball. And Mbappe isn't one of those.
Yeah.
He needs to go into a team that's winning. He needs to go into a team that's competing. You know, Real Madrid is perfect because they play that way. They let the forwards stay high and everyone else does the work. Because he's not. Although he's arguably one of the best players we've seen in a long, long time without the ball, he's not on it.
Yeah, I mean, you were saying what he does do with the ball is mind-blowing. What he doesn't,
do you know what
he doesn't do when he doesn't have the ball is actually scandalous.
Watching him live is phenomenal.
Yeah.
He's so explosive and dynamic, and he's a match winner. He scares teams to death with his pace, with his skill. He's got great footwork. He can leap. He's strong. But he'll want to go into a team that dominates games and wins things. And United would be a risk.
Well, talking about domination, if you want to stop Manchester City's further domination, is Mbappe the guy to bring in? I mean, that remains a question when there's such uncertainty about his future in Paris. Daniel's a Chelsea fan. Daniel, good morning.
Good morning, guys. How are you doing?
Very good, thank you, Daniel. What about this? I mean, are you about to push it that he should go to Stamford Bridge, or is he worth the hassle, to be honest?
To be honest, I don't think I would like it at my club. I think the fact that all the baggage he's brought to PSG, obviously he's always in the media, and in terms of my club, obviously we're in a bit of disarray at the moment. We're trying to build something, and I feel like if he was the spearhead of that, I feel like it would just bring more ego, more trouble to the club, and I feel like I don't think Poch would actually want him.
No, I agree.
No. Daniel, just while you're on, just before you go, Chelsea next season, are you confident they can get a grip of the place, turn it around and actually challenge?
I'm not going to lie. I think Pochettino has probably one of the hardest jobs currently going with the outgoings and who he wants to bring in, etc. I personally think that if we manage to scrape top four next season, that is a very successful season for us. But I still think that is even optimistic. But being out of Europe, I think that is a massive help.
Do you think he'll bring Lukaku back or sign someone else and sell Lukaku?
Do you know what? I would like to give Lukaku another chance, personally. I think that he gets a lot of negativity and he's blown up in the media for a few of the bad things he's done. But I still think that there's still ability there.
I agree.
But I just... Looking at what Pochettino had at Spurs, I feel like he's not as good as Harry Kane. We can all say that. But the type of player, a hold-up player, I think that Pochettino would like to give him another go. But I just don't think that Lukaku would want to come back to us personally. I think his heart is at Inter Milan.
It looks that way. Daniel, thanks for that. Morning, gents. As a Liverpool fan, I'd love Mbappe at my club, but Liverpool, I'm quite sure, would not pay those stupid wages. Liverpool very seldom buy global superstars. We make them, says Big Kenneth. Big Kenneth, well said. I don't know if it's Big Dave, but it's Dave, who's an Arsenal fan. Dave, good morning. This Mbappe situation, it is an incredible story, isn't it?
Morning, Jim. Morning, guys.
Morning, Dave.
It is an incredible story, but I don't think you made a comment about getting closer to City and needing Mbappe to do so.
Right.
As an Arsenal fan and watching us last year, I don't think the difference between us and Man City is Mbappe. I think if you ever look at the season as a whole, it was only the final 7 games that we gifted City the title. We could have lost to them twice, which we did last season. But in the final 7 games, we drew 3 times and dropped 6 points there. That's three games on the spin that we held the lead that we dropped. And then we dropped another 6 points in the final 2 games of the season. So that's 12 points. And ultimately, we only finished 5 points behind Man City and lost to them twice. So I think it's the consistency over the rest of the season that's more important. Yes, Mbappe is a star, and who doesn't want players like Mbappe at their club? 1, we would never be able to afford him. 2, we'd never be able to afford his wages. And I think if he comes to the Premier League, he's only going to one of 2 places. That's either Man City or he's going to Chelsea where they can afford him. And secondly, he's played under Pochettino at PSG when he was their manager.
Yeah.
So he's got more of a relationship to get there. But I don't think Chelsea have enough to offer Mbappe to get him there for this season.
Okay, Dave, listen, thank you for that. On Arsenal, Alex Crook will be joining us later on this morning. We'll find out what the latest is on, Declan Rice. I'm looking at the situation here, Simon, and if you take on Mbappe at this particular stage in his career, you're taking on an army of representatives. You're taking on an absolute muddle in terms of the finances that go with him. Is he worth the trouble, the baggage, the everything that goes with Kylian Mbappe and the circus that follows him around?
If we believe the characterisation that we put on it there, that there is this baggage that goes with him. This is a boy that's a superstar in France. It's his home country, so he's got extra leverage in the way that people perceive him. He's got extra responsibilities and expectations upon him. He is a player that's been bought for huge amounts of money, being touted for huge amounts of money. I just think it's the nature of the beast with certain footballers that you have this challenge with them. They all come with it if they're at this level. If you're trying to buy Messi, okay, his father was involved, but it was still a convoluted process. If you're trying to deal with Ronaldo, look what happened there. And ultimately, the fact that he ends up doing an interview with Piers Morgan to extricate himself from a contract with Man United. It's priced in. But he's to me, it's give him to Real Madrid. They deserve it. That's how they operate. That's
and everything that goes with it.
It's the only place he's going. It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. What would you do, Simon, if you're Nasser Al-Khelaifi today?
Sell him.
Simple as.
Yeah.
Try to
sell him. Try to get a situation into play. Depends how offended you are. Depends how affronted you are, and depends how much of this is reality rather than conjecture through the media.
Would you be briefing against the players they're doing?
No, not really. I would be having a word with the player and saying we need to find a resolution to this because I'm not going to let you run this down. You're not going to run out the door and leave me with having had a huge wage bill, a huge amount of investment.
Says, yes, I am.
Well, we'll see how that plays out, and we'll see if that's what you're really going to do. And if that's what you're really going to do, then maybe I'll do something you don't expect, like not allow you to be played and park you in the reserves and take a real. Now that's a really, really highfalutin stance. But if you then position yourself, if Nasser was prepared to do that, because he's got the money to turn out people's lights, he's got more money than Kylian Mbappe, isn't he?
Yeah.
The guy in the room with the most money is
it
always
would be
the guy
strong.
that comes out
Yeah,
with the
why
control.
not?
So I tell you what, son, you want to play that game. You want to play that game with me.
Yeah, with me.
With me, of all people.
Yeah.
You know, I put you economically where you are. So let's get some context on this. We'll do this the nice way, or we'll do it the hard way.
Some respect.
One predicts there will be more chapters to this story yet, and not of the good sort.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.